The Rank International Marina at Hamble, near Southampton, is usually the home for more than £1 million worth of sailing craft. But today, there's a difference. It's also the centre for the Spithead Trophy race, bringing almost another £1 million worth of boats to compete in this, the last offshore powerboat race of the season. Apart from all the leading British drivers, there's Bebs, a late arrival from Norway, which came as quite a surprise to the organisers, making a total of 11 international entries in our class. Nick Cripps, an old friend of Magpie's, since he invited us to join him in circuit powerboat racing, and with whom I'd done the Round London Marathon, had invited me to be navigator in his boat, Crown of Cruces. On points gained during the season, Nick is placed second in the British Championship tables, and for him to keep his position, he needs 400 points. In other words, we have to win. For all competitors, the race day officially starts with checking in at the organiser's office.
This is where we sign in, do all the signing up. We paid our dues, so we're all right.
That's to show who's driving, who's boat and all that.
That's right.
Will you sign first again?
Right.
Each boat has to have 2 licensed drivers, and the entry fees are worked out according to the length of the boat.
Can you sign?
Thank you. Up there.
They might create that, so recreate that.
Hope we can sign in afterwards. Yes, find out who's who.
Lovely. Thanks so much indeed.
Back in the pits area, scrutineering was already underway.
This is all for safety reasons, Jenny, because we've got to have everything under the RYA specifications in case of breakdown at sea and other malfunctions.
We hope won't happen.
Exactly. Three?
Three.
It's Alf Fulham, Jenny Hanley and myself.
All same jackets.
These are all specially tested to hold 30 pounds weight so that the normal body will float with it. And the idea of these collars is that you won't float upside down. But then we covered that, if you remember, in the inshore powerboat racing.
During the morning, all the boats will be seen by the scrutineers, whose job is to go over a checklist of more than 60 items.
Navigation light.
How much? Navigation light.
And running are on. Running, lights are on.
Yes. Where are they located?
Right, sorry. I think you were looking. Is that all right? Yep, okay.
Also checked is the length of the boat. Ours is 36 feet long. And the size of the engine, 1200 horsepower in our case. And the important safety cutout system, ensuring that if Nick got thrown out of the boat, our engines would automatically shut down. Coming down in the drop, a sort of giant cradle on wheels made of extra strong canvas which lowers the boat in the water, was number 858, also known as HTS, with the only other woman in the race, who herself is a licensed driver. She and her husband are Nick's closest rivals, with a lead of 194 points.
First of all, if we may do the roll call. Charlie, would you like to do that? Tina, I'm sorry.
I don't want that, thank you.
Okay.
Have 2 yeses to each vote, please. Number 9.
Yes.
The final driver's briefing, held by the officer of the day, starts with a roll call of the drivers present.
HTS, RHS, Salida. Yeah?
Because of the very bad weather forecast, with possible gale force winds of 60 miles an hour, it had become an especially important briefing for navigators, because the race committee had decided to cut out the parts of the course furthest out to sea.
Making a total distance of 115 miles or thereabouts. Are there any other questions before I go on the 1 and 2 course?
It was nearing race time now, and Nick's mechanics seemed to be having definite problems with our starboard engine.
No.
The other boats were getting underway.
And our 36 degrees before then is injection.
On 6. Right.
At last our problem seemed solved and we started out towards the course. It was very frustrating knowing that the race was almost on, and yet being limited to a steady 5 knots while in the harbour area.
Very rough out there. What? Very rough.
The Spithead Trophy has a rolling start, intended to get all the competitors in a line. Even in these force 9 gale conditions, the idea worked. And a battle for the lead soon developed between the English boat, 909, the Italian, 39, and 77, another English boat. At last we'd reached the course, but about 5 minutes behind the leaders. Hines in 717 was now strongly challenging the Italians in number 39, looking dangerously close to each other, and our deadly rivals in 858 were hard on their heels. .909 was still in the lead, but we were catching up the others.
And you said I wouldn't get wet. Looks as though somebody's already in trouble.
Somebody's gone to hospital. One of the cameras has turned over.
Oh, no.
Northeast Channel.
Look at that go. We've done the first lap.
What?
When we round up, we've done the first lap.
Yeah, I might do. I can't rub her off.
One lap completed.
Oh, baby. Watch out, we're gonna go.
Oh,
What?
you're not joking.
I've got to let it clear the clouds and then she'll go.
We're just going to limp home on one engine.
I'll get back on plane in a minute.
Just after completing that first lap, we'd lost power on one engine and met the Norwegians in 333 who had retired because they'd never experienced conditions like this before. The organisers had decided to stop the race after one lap, but due to the appalling weather, most of the drivers didn't see the signal and went on for what was finally decided would be a 3-lap event. Final placings in the 1977 Spithead Trophy race were 909 beating 39 into first position, with Nick's old rivals, Mr. and Mrs. Cracksford, in 858 coming third. Meanwhile, we, in a sad number 9, limped home on one engine with no points and a big repair bill.